In the expansive NES game library, there were about 24 movie games released. Of those, there were some strange licensing choices. Take Platoon, a very violent Vietnam War movie. Not exactly the best choice for an NES game. Oh, trip mines are fun! How about Cool World? An animated movie, sure, but an adult one that's very twisted, with sexuality shoved down your throat. What? Not the best choice of words there.
Get a little closer here, babe. Give us a kiss.
Then we have The Last Starfighter, a lesser-known 1984 sci-fi film that's known mainly for its early and impressive CG special effects, which at the time were still groundbreaking for a motion picture. On the surface, it's a story that would translate well to an NES game. We have a suspiciously 30-year-old looking teenager who plays a video game well enough to get recruited to battle aliens in space. Silly story? Yeah, but a cool enough concept for a movie and a Nintendo game. Minor problem. The Last Starfighter was released on the NES in 1990, 6 years after the 1984 movie release. Talk about striking while the iron is not hot. Who is this marketed towards, save from the 17 or so hardcore Last Starfighter fans at the time? So you fly in this Smurf blue spaceship and blast away at enemies and ground targets over this gigantic battleship. What was it, on loan from Spaceballs? The goal of each level is to reach the other end of the battleship, land your ship, and then plant a bomb to blow it up. Not sure why you can't just drop the bomb while you're flying, but I guess there wouldn't be a challenge. It sounds simple, but this game is astoundingly difficult. The speed at which your ship flies by default is very fast, and your enemies fly quickly at you with no warning, giving you almost no time to react to their attack. It also doesn't help that your ship is placed in the middle of the screen, and not the left side, which would give you more time to react. You can slow your ship down, but if you try that, the enemies will fly straight in your face or up your ass. Look at this attack pattern here. It's impossible to hit all your enemies in an attacking wave, so it becomes a dodge and counterattack fest. Yes, you can turn your ship around and fly backwards. For a shooter, this is a very rare gameplay feature. I'm all for innovation, but here it's more of an annoyance than anything else. You wouldn't need to turn around if your enemies weren't constantly blazing past you to begin with. And half the time when I just want to slow down, instead I'm turning around and going back the other way. Ugh. So you may ask me, Pat, why not just fly slowly the entire time? Well, you can try that, sure, but if you stay in the same area for more than a couple of seconds, you get these homing mines that are shot right at you. And they're quick! The only way to escape them is by gunning it at top speed. So then you may ask me, Pat, why not just fly at top speed the entire time? By flying quickly, you'll encounter the most frustrating feature of this game. The battleship's towers and obstacles. In a 2D shooter like this, you would think that you're flying above all these objects, even though you can shoot some of them. But no, you can fly directly into some of them with no warning. Come on! Really? Fluffernutter! Your laser bolts travel through everything on screen. If these obstacles were level to my ship, wouldn't they be hitting them? But that's too simple and logical to program into the game for a warning. Instead, there are shadows you are supposed to look out for that tip you off to whether or not you can fly through an object on screen. When you're zipping across, you're supposed to look out for this. Are you joking? If I'm flying quickly to avoid my enemies in those homing mines, I cannot see, let alone have time to react to any of these obstacles. So this forces you to slow your ship down. But then when you do that, you're far more susceptible to being killed by your enemies or those goddamn homing mines. It's a catch-22. You can alter your strategy to avoid getting decimated, but when you do that, it leaves you open to getting spanked by a different attack. This happens constantly. Look at this valley of death right here. I cannot maneuver that much to avoid getting hit, and I have to go slow just in case there's not another obstacle up ahead to kill me. And this decision will end up getting me killed anyway. I'm screwed whatever choice I make. The following is a special editorial from Pat the NES Punk.
Okay, I'll be the first one to admit that games should be at least a little difficult. But when you have gameplay elements that constantly contradict themselves, it travels beyond normal difficulty into the realm of bad game design. If you have to do B to avoid A, but then C happens when you do B, so then you have to do D to avoid C, but then when you do D, A happens again, so then you do B to avoid A, and then C, and then I run out of letters and confuse myself.
The preceding was a special editorial from Pat the NES Punk. Oh, did I also mention that sometimes your shots will fire right through your enemies and not kill them? Huh, what a fun difficulty bonus! And as an aside, you have the ability to turn your ship upside down. The purpose of this beats the hell out of me. The sound engine in this game is the pits. Never mind the fact that the sound effects are screeching and simple, or that there's only one music track that repeats throughout the game, but there is a high-pitched sound that permeates the entire game. Oh, and that one music track I mentioned? You don't hear it while there are any other sounds happening in the game. The music cuts out any other time in the game where there's a sound effect happening, whether you're firing, an explosion's happening, it doesn't matter. We're stepping into the Wayback Machine here. If I wanted to play a game without music, I'd turn on an Atari 2600. Back to the difficulty. I'm having trouble even getting past the first level here. Even if I shoot enough enemies to engage the annoying Land Now alert at the top of the screen, it's still difficult to actually go to and get to the landing runway. Alright, time to land. So, do I press... Oh, that's a sick joke. What? Wait, how did I do that? Okay, the bomb is planted and... Huh! Nice flame explosion effect following me. What's with my spastic ship? The second level is upon me. And with my gained experience and knowledge from the first level, this should be easier now. No. Ah! Damn it. Come on! Can't stand this game. You know what the worst part is? It's not even a true Nintendo game. It was a port of a Commodore 64 game called Uridium. Mindscape didn't want to develop an original Last Starfighter movie game, so they picked this game out of the dumpster, threw a new title screen and sprites on it, and released it. You know what? Uridium doesn't look that bad. You know why? Because it's its own game, not a lazy and inferior remake. Come on, Mindscape. You can do better. At least give us a bonus level where our obviously young hero has to file for Social Security. Oh well. Our 30-year-old teenage hero deserved a lot better.
Maybe there is a Starfighter left.